start this. All right. So again, welcome everyone. And yeah, okay. Yeah, Diane said, yeah, she thought it was the second year also. Yeah, we did start a trend, Diane. We did. Indeed. We'll take credit for that. But you know, and I'll throw this out there. It is a fun thing to do with family. So if you, we did it without even frosting them, because I think Diane, when she brought those the first year, they weren't frosted. So it's a little messier, and you just have to keep wiping off the markers. But you can, if it's a smooth-ish surface, you can draw right on the cookie without frosting. It's just a little bit.
So those macaroons that we got at training were not frosted.
No, and they're very smooth.
Yeah, they're very smooth, and it was drawn right on it.
I was shopping yesterday, and I think it was at. Oh no, I went to Gordon's to pick up these cookies, and then and they had macaroons, and I was very tempted to grab them, and that because they were very small. I'm like, oh, maybe I should get. It's like, no, just stick with the one. And welcome to Jess, who is a newbie in the north of England in the UK. Fantastic, welcome. I think we have some others. From out that way also. All right, so here's what I'm going to share this link. I'm going to put it in the chat, and then I will share my screen and kind of go over it also. And say for those that are on mobile devices, hopefully you're able to click it and then sort of somehow flip back and forth if you want to. So here's the deal. Of course, everybody does not have to do cookies. And I put that on the thing. So whatever you want to tangle on. When I started doing the idea of festive tangles, it was, well, what tangles could we do that are kind of standalone or that you could fit nicely in the corner of a gift tag? So that was just, there was some ideas there. Oh, and you know what? By the end, I'll either share the link or I'll put it on the email. There's also those, what do they call it? I want to say Triscuit, but it's not that. It's these snow globes that you can make. And there's a free printable. I have it on my Facebook group. It's on the featured thing. But anyway, so you can print these out. Shows you where to score them. And then you make these cute little globes, so you could tangle on those and make ornaments. I've been sharing the 12 Days of Zentangle on the Facebook group, and if you're not on Facebook, you can go to zentangle.com, and they have links to those there as well. And so they're kind of making ornaments and different things with the tiles. So lots of ways that we can use these, use the tangles, have extra festiveness, bringing a little tangle in, and have fun with it. But like I said, gift tags are fun, and but so use the if you're just using whatever you're tangling on is fine. So let me just share this so that way we can just an overview, and then whatever you want to do is fine. I am going to start off. Oh, that's not it. This is it. Okay, let's. How do I just make that big? Oh, okay. Oh, it's 100%. I wanted to get rid of this little side thing. Oh, that's how I do it. Okay. So here, yeah. So a lot of these are from last year. Hi, Richard. Because they're just good for to put into the festive mood. Is one, because that just it could look like a star. Jetties can look like ornaments, and then I have these little fill-in patterns suggestions if you want to use for those. And then yeah, Jen is putting a better with pen and paper than in the kitchen. Paper cookies, so that works. But something I meant to mention first is if you want to try it first on paper, because I think when I had taught the cookie, actually on cookies, I think I only did it once live, and then I said, if you want to practice first, that's okay too, because it just depends on how many cookies you want to eat. because there's no such thing as a mistake in
I
Zentangle.
was say, you can always eat the mistakes, the so-called mistakes.
Right. Exactly.
Your dad is patiently waiting until I'm
stand behind you and just jostle your chair while you're drawing. And then I have kelp here, which that one, if you color in the little what would be leaves that make it look like kelp, then they look like strings of lights. I mean, so these are all ones that I just found easily convertible, if not already designed for, like this, like Christmas red here, which is like the holly or poinsettia. And then moving down to eek, which we used, that one too, you could do a half eek, just the first step, and there it looks like a string of lights also. Or even doing, the full pattern and coloring in the little loops and having fun with it. The one I want to start with is this bonus, because look at that last thing, Mom, my last little square.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking at that thinking, wow, I did that. That's, I looked at the pattern, I'm like going, oh my, that's, at the finished result. And I think we all, or a lot of people will do that. And then it's like, oh, but look at the steps. Oh, that makes it so easy. And I didn't think I could get a double one in, and I did. And I'm like, well, that's a good pattern if Heather can do it. So I want to start with that one just because that's new, and I'm going to have that be my daily tangle today. But then there's ones like quilts, which is a grid pattern, which looks nice on anything. And then two, like this one, if you just did this 4 square and you wanted to decorate something, it looks cute just as it is. Frost flower, kind of same thing. And I threw in our new ones from our community, stones from Lynn Fisher, because we did that one, and a lot of people put a nice snow on the top. So that's something you could put in the corner of a tag, or if you haven't, which I still have to get my Christmas cards out. You could do it on the envelope or on the inside or something. And then Sandy's waka. I keep picturing that because it almost looks like, if you do it with the right colors, to me, it's very festive looking. Then this is almost the snowflake collection. So we have Burr that we were talking about before. Joy, I just put that in there. Sandy, you're so funny. Blush, she says, that's for the purposes of the recording. Joy is kind of like so it's not really snowflakey, but I just stuck it in there. Splish, we did a couple, I think it's been within this last week, which can look snowflakey. Snowflake seeds, obviously, from Mom. And then this one, this Tyra, which is interesting. And, that can definitely look snowflakey. And then cross kick. So I thought, well, I better stop there, because depending on the colors you use, we can make anything look festive. So, so there we have it. So let's see, I'll stop my screen share, but that's the file that is in that link. And all right. And then so it's like, okay, I better get where's my bonus here? My little my own step out, so that way I can
I'm sorry, Heather. This is Shirley. Where are we finding this link? I'm sorry.
Oh, it should be in the chat.
I can't find the chat. I'm not used to this go-to meeting.
Oh, okay. Are you on a desktop?
I'm on my laptop.
Oh, on a laptop? So there do you see the attendee list on the left?
Fine. Oh, on the left. Wait a minute.
If you don't see it, and it's for anyone else too, there's a little...
I see it now. Never mind. I see it now. Okay,
perfect. Yeah, because sometimes it comes where it's open, where that is not open, and you can shut it too. There's a little arrow tab where you can hide that little side panel, but that's where the chat is.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, my pleasure. My pleasure. And then two, because this is a I use it so that I keep my costs down, because it's free to me. Use it for free. Free is
you're offering it to us free, so I just have to learn kind of a new program here.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. And it's just something they had started a free program for our company back when COVID started, and then it went away at the end of December last year. And then it was like, well, it was fine. I was just, you know, at least get it at our cost. And then they changed it back and made it free again for, you know, for where you can have like up to 100 people. And I'm like, thank you very much. Okay. And it's usually first time, you know, it's always a, you know, a bit of a hassle getting on. But let's see. Oh, and let me see. Oh, show the very first one. Oh, that if that's Petty, when you came on that one, I'll share it really quick. That one was Burr. And then Janice is asking, what are we using to draw on the cookies? So these are they're called food writers while I'm pulling the other thing up. Yeah. And it's by Wilton. And Wilton is they have all kinds of, you know, food related products, you know, for cake baking and whatnot. And these they're food coloring of some sort, you know, in there. So they are made for writing on food. And I think this is what we were talking about early on. It's Burr. I just put the basic. It's in the document that I shared. But I just put the basic one, but we were talking about it because it's like all of these variations that we have available to us. So that was the one. And if you want that one, let me put that in the chat also. When I put them on YouTube, I always put, or even on our Facebook group and on Pinterest, I always put I call it for more inspiration, which is the link to their blog or to Untangle Pattern. So that way you can, I like to be able to share from the creator or the originator of the tangle, because there's, you know, you just have to. I do my own step outs because I don't want to, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like.
Because we're supposed to.
Because we're supposed to, yeah, because it's like I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to share their work as if I was doing it, I guess. But anyway, so it's a good practice. So, all right, yeah, and Mama's in there doing her snowflakes. Well, let me share something too as she's starting, so at least you can watch her. So they have different tips. So Mom's using, this is like what do they call it? The ultra fine or something?
Extra fine or ultra fine.
Extra fine. They also have ones that look like regular markers. And it seems like they had two sets of colors. One they had, you know, more traditional red, blue. I can't remember if orange was in that one, yellow. And then they have some other ones that have, you know, more neon colors. So that way it's, you know, you have a little extras.
The ones, the regular is, you know, red, yellow, green, blue, and black.
Oh, that's okay. It. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
Because I have a pink and a purple that came with a different set. And then there's also this one. This one is called Candy Decorating Pens. It's still by Wilton, but this looks more like a brush tip.
Yeah, the other one has brown in it, so it's
okay. Yeah, so they have multiple sets, and as I put on the blog post or on one of the posts that you know, I don't know, I didn't look to see how much they are now. They were kind of on the, you know, I guess I was considering it pricey, but they, you know, said save your coupons, so because you can use the coupons on those.
Yeah, it seems like they were like $7 or $8, yeah, maybe
something like that. All right, so I'm going to start with a red bow. All right, so I'm going to do that bonus. So that way, if, you know, like you said, I'm just killing two birds with one stone. And I like to use a food glove because I'm bringing this for other people. So as I'm, you know, if it was just family, it'd be different. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, you know, and sometimes I didn't grab it, but sometimes it's good to have a paper towel handy because sometimes you just want to wipe this off. Although these things are so big, your fingers are okay, and let's see, and let me, oh my god, Shirley, I'll go ahead and I'll remute you, and sure, there we go. All right, okay, fantastic. So bonus, and I thought this is really, really cool.
Prayers
and thank you, Richard.
Period.
Oops, and let's see, let me
back to the nothingness.
I got somebody else. Oh, it's Patty. Let me just mute you also there. I didn't do the housekeeping at the beginning, but yes, you know, we try to use the chat, and I know sometimes it's like it might come on automatically. Unmuted. Let me find my other thing. There we go. Okay. So, bonus starts with an orb in the middle of whatever you're doing. We'll get that in.
I'm going to do that one too. I'm almost done with this one.
Oh, hurry.
That should look good in the middle of a snowflake.
I would think so. Yeah. And it has six spokes. So, yeah. All right. So then, and I think this is like a really long tethered orb, or, you know, I think of it like a big long flux. And so I'm going one up and then one down. And then I always have, let's see, I'm trying to, let's see, get two in here because this one, it called for 6 spokes. Oh, you know, I made this so that way I can turn
my snowflake has 6 things, so I'm all set.
Yeah. All right. And then this is where, and say, and I didn't look to see Cassie if Cassie was on, but if Cassie ends up watching the recording, or maybe I can't remember if she's more on late, because she had said she had gone wrong at some place, and when I was playing with this, I'm like, oh, I bet this was it right at this next point, because I did it myself a couple times. So looking at, you know, one of these, I don't know what petals, we'll call it a petal. On the right, the right side, it's almost like a takeoff and land idea. So I'm starting at the base, I'm coming up, and then I'm pulling away ever so slightly at the top. So it's on the right side, and so kind of trace over, but then towards the top, maybe about halfway, start pulling away. So it's a curved line, just starting at that base. That I think ends up making more sense. And we'll do that for each one. Like so. Oh, did you? Oh, so you have to get that. Oh, well, yours might turn out interesting, Mom.
I know that. I'm waiting to see the next step.
Oh, no, that was the next step. So it's this curve line.
No, I mean after that.
Oh, after that.
Did you put it in the chat?
It's on like page 2 of that big document.
Okay, wait a minute.
It's next to eek. And then so here's the next step, is from that line we just made.
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know it's kind of a curvy line. So I'm gonna continue from this, and then make a dip down, and then meet that, you know, the first thing that we did. So the loop. So I'll do that again. Actually, it's kind of like making an M, sort of. If that makes sense. But I like to, the takeoff and land concept is basically tracing over where you were, so that way it's not just, there's something different about that versus just, you know, starting at one end and then landing here. It's, you know, like I said, I'm tracing over, making my little curve line, and then as I'm going into the right side of this petal, I'm continuing, you know, onto that as I go. For me, it kind of helped with the idea of prepping for it. Because I'm like, well, how am I going to draw that and get it all to line up? And that's how you do it, it's like starting, you know, right from where you're at. And then too, what I like about that is, oh, that turned out great, Mom.
Yeah,
is you don't have to worry about.
It's a little wonky, but that's okay.
No, but it makes it's very festive looking.
Yes.
And what's nice is you don't, that part doesn't, none of this has to be perfect. Because I had some that were, you know, say too close together or whatever. And then I'm looking at my finished product. And I'm like, well, huh, that's neat. And then, well, see, I don't have enough, you know, well, let me tell you how to do, if you want to make it a double. Here's how you would do it is, you know what, I was thinking I should do a separate step out to make it a double. So what I noticed in Angie's, when I was looking at one of her finished ones, she did this where, so like right here, in between, in that little crevice in between, she did, you know, one of that first stroke, so that that petal type of stroke, and then on the rocks, I was thinking the same thing, Alyssa. She says, on the rocks, make it a double. You know what? Maybe. You know what? Let me just try to fit it in here. Oh, but maybe I do it. Maybe I'll do it in green. Let's do that. And then I'll do another one. So if you miss it, I think I'll do another one anyway. So in green, so doing another one of those flux shapes, we'll call it. And then kind of in the middle of one that's completed, but it's not a full one. It's like we're using hollow bow, so as if it was coming from here. So it's really just like so. It's hard for me to see with this. These pens, they kind of go on shiny, so it's hard to see. And what I like to do with, oops, that could have gone right in the middle. And then here. All right. And then same idea. Have that little curve line coming out from the side. I'll share what I was about to say in a minute. I like to go around the curves and then, you know, over the sides, because I think I've got some that where it poured over the side, and I'll just follow the frosting wherever it goes. It's kind of like that concept of map tangling that's out there, where you know you have your blob of color, and then you tangle where the color is, and that's what it looks like. And then once you have all of that, then it's the same thing. So we're just coming from that curve line, and this one is just going to be all out here. I'm just going to draw on the cookie, sort of. These are actually, it's funny because it's like it is a double, and you're doing double the amount of bow on the outside of that. Or you know what? I'm going to say this too. Maybe if you even just went in between. I'm looking at yours, Mom. I mean, if you didn't have the snowflake, that looks really nice. If you didn't have that, I bet you could also, and maybe I'll just try it. Have it be really a really big piece of ribbon going from here to here. I suppose you could, and just have it be, you know.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing. Well, no, I did do that. But mine doesn't. I don't have the ones in between because I have this open space. So my top loops have openings on both sides.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that.
But it's a, you know. It's a neat one.
And now what do we do?
And then we're done. Well, no. I mean, you can decorate it however you want. Oh, you know, well, here's something. Because I know, let's see. I'm trying to remember what I don't remember which direction it went, but I know I saw where they did a couple line dots down the one side. Oh, I have another idea. Okay. Let's see. You know, Patty, the initial strokes, it just depends on how big of a bow you want to make. It really does. So, you know, I hindsight, I'm like, well, if I had made mine a little bit smaller, then I could have fit more of that, you know, that second one in. But yeah, really, it's however big you want to do it. And then because this is, because I'm drawing on the cookie, I can't really do shading, but I'm going to do shading. We'll just see how it looks. And, you know, and like we said, there's no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle. So if I don't like it, if it's not presentable enough to give to somebody, then I'll just eat it later. So I'm just doing some little hash marks. I always forget. It's not hashtag. That's different. So if I was shading, I would shade on this side where the loop is. Oh, that does kind of look neat. Huh. Oh, and I better do that with the green on the other side. And I should track what pens I'm using so that way I'm not wiping off all the other ones.
You know, if you just use red and green, it looks festive no matter what.
That's true. I don't need to get all extra fancy. Well, you know, and I was just thinking, I put that striping in there because that was one that I like to use because you can just use different colors, and it's one that you wouldn't necessarily look at and go, that's festive. You know, it's like, well, anything can be. Even my favorite flourish, if I'm using, you know, red and green. It, you know, oh, actually that one I use brown also, and it just depends on the colors you use. Wow, I have impressed myself. Look at that. Oh, I missed one. I couldn't see until I opened up my thing.
Mine doesn't look like a bow anymore.
Oh, let's.
It just looks like a design, and that's okay.
Yeah, but it looks really neat. And shows, too, you know, how much fun can we have with a pattern. And, you know, it could have been inspired by a bow, but, you know, you can have it look like one, or you cannot have it look like one. Let's see. I'm going to do a... Wow. Well, I was hoping to get some of these where, as these dry, the icing will just fall off wherever it's, you know, close to the edge. And so I was hoping to get some of those little puddles because I wanted to tangle on those.
You wanted to do what?
To tangle on one of those. I had one.
Okay.
Yeah, one year that it really poured over. So like you see like here, and it was really, you know, thick. And so I just took the pattern right down, you know, down with it. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one again. I think I'm going to just do, I'm just going to do a single one.
Did you, for those who might want to do it,
yes,
eventually on a cookie,
yes,
did you mention when you talked about it, using a brush and did you do that this time?
I didn't use a brush to put this on. I have like a little thin spatula. And it was just, if I put it on thin, it does seem to help and goes further.
Yeah.
And just, and not try to make it thick, because that's, yeah.
I saw Diane's message that she uses, buys pecan sandies and uses the bottom must be flatter. I'm thinking that's why she said she uses the bottoms. And then she melts a jar of store-bought frosting, which makes it thinner, and then she uses that. I don't remember if she said, I'll have to look up, but I just made the glaze from my recipe, and then use a brush, like a 1-inch chip brush, like you would use for basting or whatever, and brushed it on, and it works pretty good.
Yeah. And I did use a brush one year because that was when I was trying to figure out why I was getting the holes. And actually, for these, before I put the icing on, I used a knife and I scraped off what I could of the chunks. And so far, I've only had one place that sort of pokes through, because it's like you can't get them all.
And Diane says she does, in her thing, she said she paints the bottom, so she used a brush too.
Okay. And I can't remember, Diane, if the store-bought, if it ends up being hard or not.
It does. I don't know. Well, it must harden as much as this. Grandma used to do that on her muffin bottom things she used to make.
Okay.
So it does harden up, but I don't know if it's as hard as this. Maybe it depends on how many days you let it sitting out.
That could be. And then I'm going to make a green bow. Yeah, and then if you want to make it look like a present, I'm going to do it that's on this side so that way I can go over. So then you can just draw some straight lines. Oh, let me start that one up a little bit. To make it look like it's, like there's a ribbon behind it. And then that's a long way to hollabow. If I'm just like, okay, about there. I'm going to make my center green. Yeah, so this one, I decided, well, just do a single one. But this is another great one where once you get the steps, then, I found it was pretty easy to get the steps in my head is where I'm going with that. And I think too, you could probably do more spokes, more of those initial petals than just the 6 if you wanted to. That's why I love this, because it's like somebody said, "Oh, here, draw a bow." No. Here, draw. Yeah, now we can. So that's why it's so much fun because, yeah, because then people are like, "Oh, you're such an artist," and you're like, we all have to learn to say, "Oh yes, thank you." They don't need to know. All right. Let me pick another one from. Oh, that looks nice.
This is looking better.
Yeah. And and now because you're using that, is that black or brown?
It's black.
And even without using shading, it looks like that top part, at least from the picture.
It looks like it's popped up.
Yeah. Even outline the others, because if you didn't outline the other two, it could look even more, but even outline the others, just because of that black, it's just all of a sudden, yeah, it's like a double layer cookie. All right, let's pick another. Oh, actually, you know what? I want to do. All right.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
This looks much better than But it needed the black.
Yeah.
I mean, it needed that definition.
Yeah. And see, and this is why everyone said, even from the pictures, oh, it's too pretty to eat.
No, it isn't.
It's like, no, eat it. Eat it or else. All right. So I'm going to try.
They might have been sitting out since Sunday. So who knows if you'd really want to eat it.
Oh. Let's see. I'm going to do this frost flower. And yes, because these are the ones I did them on the all right, you know, yeah, on the quickies, but not necessarily anywhere else. And that frost flower was neat because you just start off with I was like, oh, you know what, I should before I have to. Well, I'm glad that we're coming to the new year because it's like I that blue piece of paper that I always use behind. I'm like, I can't find where I have more of those, and I like that it's all consistent. But that one I was getting a little greasy with you know, twisting this this around here. But I'm going to try this frost flower, and this one was neat because you know you start off with an asterisk, and actually, hindsight, I probably didn't need to have it go full. The full length, but that's okay. But this one is neat because you're just essentially auraing the, you know, one line. So like, as you see, I'm working my way up and I'm leaving some gaps. I think I need to leave more gaps, which is the sparkle. So you just leave them, you know, for this one, kind of wherever you want. And then turning your paper or your cookie. We'll see how this one fares. But ones like this, you know, that are easy. It's like that bonus is nice, but it's also nice to put tangles in when you're doing something like this that aren't necessarily difficult, because you know, I mean, someone is just going to eat it. But how fun to do this with, you know, with family. So if you have grandkids, after I had done the one live class, I think the one gal that had one of the persons that attended, and she had come to some of the other classes I was teaching out there in Chelsea, and she said it became a tradition in their family. They would, you know, draw on cookies.
Well, it's something almost any age can do. Even, you know, like when Nathan did it when he was younger, yeah, he just scribbled, but he had fun doing it. So
right. Say this frost flower seems. I think I'm going to try it again on one. I think I will do it starting off not with, you know, with the lines going the full length, because that one seems to have a neat effect when the edges are kind of more jagged. Where this, I mean, it still looks cool. But you know, Mom, I think you were absolutely right about the little pieces, the chunky sugar that comes on these cookies. And for those that didn't know, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Alyssa was saying, yeah, nobody cares, because they're just gonna eat it. So you know, for those that didn't know, so I bought these cookies at our Gordon Food Service, which is a food service place. I mean, they deliver to restaurants and stuff, but they're open to the public. And these, I mean, you can see, I don't know, I didn't measure, but they're a nice size cookie. I mean, they're rather thick, and they have other cookies besides sugar cookies, but they're in the freezer section, already cooked, baked, already everything. But they come with this chunky sugar on top. And I would have this problem in other years with them having these little places where it just never would harden up like this. And so I still want to have a light touch. At the same time, it was just like, oh, this is, you know, it was just so frustrating because every so often I would, you know, poke in and I remember one time looking, it was just like, and it stayed liquidy even 24 hours later. And so she was thinking that that was maybe the sugar
melting.
Yeah, melting, dissolving. And oh yeah. Okay, you want to see the frost flower. I'm gonna move this maybe so it's a little bit better angle. Yeah. Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, and like I said, I'm thinking on this frost flower one. I might try it. Well, maybe I should try it again right now while I'm thinking of it. But anyway, yeah, I think you were right. I think it was just getting rid of those as many of the bigger pieces of sugar as possible, because I have not, like I said, I've only had one place so far.
So did you try like brushing it off, you know, rubbing the top to get the extra?
No, I just grabbed a knife and just scraped.
Oh, okay, but you did scrape. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try frost flower again. And putting a smaller thing in the middle. Yeah, you know, well, there were these crumbs in the bottom, and then, you know, because I just kind of scraped it into the box that they came in. So yes. All right, so let's see how this goes. Oh, and I should. There we go. And yeah, so the frost flower was neat because you just you know pick one side to aura and stay on that side, you know. So then you turn your tile or whatever you're working on, and you know, so like I'm doing the left side, so I'm going to do that here also. So it's always that same side as you go. Ugh. And then here again. There we go. I like ones like this that you really don't have to think a whole lot. Or at all. The or at all is even better. And ones like this that are, you know, more like snowflake, I do like to use the blue, although it doesn't matter. Oh, see, and so look at that. That looks neat. Because if you think about, you know, the frost forming on, you know, on glass on a windshield, and it kind of spreads out, and so now that has a little bit. Oh, let me get that in the center. A little bit better look. Better or different. It's just all good. One year we had also, and I think it was also Wilton. They had, it was like little tubes. It was like hard candy, and I was talking to somebody earlier, and I was saying I have to pick another one. Oh, let's do Eek, just because. And let's do it with let's do brown. Talking about how, oh no, I lost it. Oh, you know, doing piping, because I've seen some gorgeous things like you know, videos of people piping, frosting, and making these just gorgeous designs. And I said, well, that's, you know, he said, oh yeah, you could do this or you could do that, and you do it with piping. I'm like, that's a whole nother skill to be able to do piping like that. I said, that it's too hard to squeeze and, you know, and draw at the same time. But if you have that skill. I think what got me down this path was there was these beautiful henna cookies that there was a picture of. I don't remember if they were doing them or not, but okay, Jen, we'll see you tonight. But you know, they were gorgeous. Like, oh, there's an idea. So I'm using Eek here, which is just these loop-to-loops, and then I didn't do such a great job of making sure that they were far enough apart so that way I could intersect them. But you know what? They still turned out okay. And let's see. Oh, let's not use that one. Let's use. So too, you know, we always just think of decorating cookies around the holidays, but how much fun could it be if you had, you know, a bunch of kids and for a birthday party or something like that, if they like to create. I was going to say, yeah, forget those. What is it? The cookie bouquets. You could have some nice hand done cookies.
Just a thought.
Yes.
I wonder if you could rubber stamp.
Well,
I mean, you know, because I have the well, yeah, you could, you know, put out like the liquid food coloring on something like paper towel or something.
Yeah.
And then have a rubber stamp and try it.
Well,
just a thought for those out there who want to try something different.
Because you can see how cute. That's just cute and simple and doesn't take a long time to do. And that's what we want. Oh yeah,
that's really cute, Heather.
Or Alyssa says to put the food color on wax paper. You know, too.
Yeah,
there are, depending on the stamp you use, because there are some markers that you can draw on the stamp itself.
Right. My thought is on the wax paper, it would, especially with the liquid, it would bead up and it wouldn't be solid. But I also have gel food coloring, which you could brush onto wax paper a little bit thinner, and it would probably work really good. I have no plans to try it, but just throw it out there for somebody else who might want to.
Or well, yeah, I wonder. I wonder because because I know because actually Karen has these markers that that you color on, and you can put different layers on, but it's the rubber stamps that it works better on. It doesn't stick to like the silicone stamps. So if we were to try it, I would make sure to try, have both, because those silicone clear stamps don't work as well. All right, I'm going to try Sandy's Waka on this one. And why I'm doing the first part in brown, I don't know, because I'm going to color the other end. All right. And that one started off with straight lines. Oh, Kelly, thanks. Oh my gosh, we're like at the time. So I'm just gonna like sit here and do this all day. and I like Mom's Christmas red that she's doing, and doing more than just the 3 orbs in the middle. Right,
because I wanted one going out each.
Yeah.
Spoke, sort of.
Yeah. So it's just fun. So I'll have to finish this one and post it later. But I want to see what everybody has done on whatever it is that you are working on. And so if you want to open up your webcams, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, nice, Diane and Karen. Let me move my little side panel. Take my little. I have to put something pretty in the picture. I should open this up. Oh, gorgeous. I got 5 done. Oh, nice. So it's on the black and doing it in ornaments. Oh, and Deb, that's amazing. Oh my gosh. How fun.
Why does it say Lake Ontario, Diane? Are you in Lake Ontario? She did hers on a cookie.
I have to do a presentation, and so I have to make these little placards.
Oh.
So I decorated each of them with a Christmas thing. And the club's flowers are carnation. So on my cookies,
nice.
I drew all these carnations.
Yeah. Cool.
Very nice.
On the back of my pecan sandy.
Ah, that's great. Yes, you just want to push it. Yeah, put it a little close. Oh, there we go. There we go. Got it. Okay. Let me snap this really quick. Oh, got a person. Oh, Sandy's getting on. Yay.
But Sandy's needs to be up.
Yeah, up towards your face a little bit. Or move the camera down. Yeah. Now we see your face. So just, yeah, put your...
It's okay.
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right.
Right.
So I think we lost. Okay. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay. So if that's everybody, let me move my... Oops, hold on one second. Hold it up again there, Shirley. There we go.
Oh,
okay.
Love it.
Those are gorgeous. One second. Okay. I think I got it. Let me make sure. And okay, I got it. So if you want to put them all down, and then I will share my screen. I should have said that to begin with. So that way everybody can see what everybody did. And yeah, I didn't think about that too, Diane. Yeah, name cards. So if you're having a big dinner or an event and you want to, okay,
I used to do that. Do you remember that, Heather?
I do. Yeah,
Just for our, because I was thinking the snowflake cookie cutter I have has a big rubber top. And I had a snowman like that. That one year I remember I did snowflakes for everybody.
Yeah.
One year I did snowmen and put their name. Not that we had to know where we sat, but just for the heck of it.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, but it's just a nice little touch. Like I said, and I wanted to find things that you could do on a small scale, even like I said, for a gift tag or for whatever, and so that way it's like we can add a little personalization, and I'm just loving these. Yeah, and especially if you have like a wood cutout, and I don't know if Shirley, if those are like wood cutout ornaments, or if you have a die cutter like I have that will cut things out solid. Just so fun. Yeah, so Patty, the last one that I was starting, and I say, you know, let me do this. Oh, I can move this up if that helps, Sharmila. Just gorgeous though. These are just amazing. All right, let me stop the recording so that way. But I might finish that waka.